Today is a day to plant spring containers. That's what I will be doing here. Welcome back to Juliet in the Garden. So I have some plants here that I'm going to put in containers. I'm going to start on my front porch here. I have two planters on either side of my door, and then I'm going to do a couple urns that are out flanking the entrance to my berry garden, and then I'm hoping also to do the deck. So I have some different things that are going in each of those. Most of what's going in are actually pansies that I grew myself. This one's, it's a little leggy, but you know, it's beautiful still. Look at that bloom. They're just a pansy mix from Hudson Valley Seed Company. So it's a variety. Let's see, this one over here, most of them are not in bloom yet, but this is another one that is. So it's kind of a mix of these, I want to say jewel toned-ish colors. And then I've been trying to find some other early spring plants to put in, but I've been not having a lot of luck. It seems like in my area here in Vermont that there's not a lot available until May. Nurseries just opened the past few days, but they're mostly just doing shrubs and perennials at this point because a lot of the tender annuals you really can't put in here until mid-May, and it seems like not a lot of places have early things. But I did manage to get some hellebores. So these are perennials. So after I am done with them in the spring containers, I will move them into the landscape. I know where they're going. This is Ivory Prince. Let me step back and show you because it deserves it. And this is also an Ivory Prince, but you can see the blooms are a little older and they kind of fade into this greenish color. I wanted some with some blooms, so I got some impact, some early impact. I also got another kind of hellebore. This is Brandywine. I'll try to put a picture here because this is what it looks like right now, but I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the container, and hopefully it will bloom there before I move it out into the landscape and replace it with our summer containers. I also did manage to find some potted up tulips. I have tried the last 2 years to start tulips and other bulbs in pots and overwinter them, and I have not had a lot of luck. So I think I've got one tulip bloom coming up in a pot over there, and the rest rotted and just not a good situation. So I did pick some up to put in another one of the pots along with some more of the violets that I grew. But let's get started here with these containers. These are just going to be hellebores and pansies, keeping it simple but hopefully pretty and adding some spring color to my porch. So we're going to ignore the mess that's going on back here because I do need to clean it, but it's more fun to plant. So we're going to start with that. I do have some soil and some root balls in here from last fall. I think I replaced it in the fall. So I don't want to completely replace all the soil. I'm just going to pull out the root balls, put a little bit of soil in as necessary, and then use some fertilizer, some organic fertilizer I get from Fruition Seeds. I'm just going to use that to kind of recharge it. And yeah, and then plant in there. These plantings should only be in here for like a month and a half, and then I'll replace them with summer plantings. So they shouldn't tax the soil too much. And then I will refresh it for summer and probably clean off the planters as well. Just start with a little bit because we're going to be putting plants in. Now I have heard that hellebores don't like their roots being messed with, so I'm just not going to mess with it. I'm going to pop it right in. Look at that. That's exciting because I grew this from seed starting in January. Okay, that one's done, and I'm happy with it. It's just a sweet little spring container. I love the hellebores so much, so much. So I watered it in as pretty well, as you can see. I put a lot of water in it. Hopefully they'll be good for right now. I'll be checking on it. These get, I I should say that this is a container that's on my front porch, which faces east. So it gets a couple hours of sun in the morning and then shade for most of the day. So I think these will be really happy in here. Let's do the other one. This area here is the entrance to my berry and rose garden, and I had a beautiful, my favorite containers were these ones last year. I had a dark coleus, a super tunia Bordeaux, and a like little purple verbena, and a salvia in here. Anyway, I absolutely loved it. These coming up around the base are Queen of the Night tulips. I'm really excited for that. I'm really happy to see a bunch of them coming up. So I wanted to play off that deep purple color, which is one of my favorites. So I got these tulips from the nursery. There's two different varieties here. I don't know if you can see this pot over here. So I got, let's see, Colorado Proud and Purple Crystal. So instead of doing one in each side, I want to actually try to see if I can gently break them apart so that there's both in each container. So hopefully that'll work. I also pulled out some violets that I started, or pansies, violas that I started inside as well. These are a Frizzle Sizzle mini tapestry viola, and this is a brushstrokes viola mix. So I'll be putting those mixed as well around the outside. At least that is my plan. So hopefully this works the way I want it to. Let's get started. Okay, we're taking a lot out of these pots. absolutely love this. I think they look so sweet. I'm really hoping this works. I've never done this with tulips before, as far as broken them apart and put them back in. So we'll see how it goes. Gardening is an experiment, right? So I'll let you know. You're just gonna have to keep watching to see what happens. The last location I'm going to plant up today are my deck boxes here. So my deck faces west. I can see the potager, it's very nice. These are tricky boxes because they are not, they don't have drainage holes. They're sitting in wood, so on a wood deck. So they didn't put drainage holes in them so you don't have water seeping down, obviously. And they're also very shallow, so the root balls fill them up really fast. So you just have to pay attention to how much water they're getting so that the roots don't rot and that they're getting enough nutrition throughout the season. Again, these are only going to be in for a month or 6 weeks. They should be fine. I actually already prepped them. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to dump the whole thing because with my summer annuals, the whole thing fills up as root ball, but it seems like my fall annuals didn't. So I was able to just pull root balls out, put a little potting soil in, and some fertilizer. So they're ready to go. Even though they are a little difficult or finicky, I do keep planting them up because I can see them out my kitchen window, and so it makes me happy to see them planted up. Our long-term plan around our property is to redo the deck. I have a couple different ideas, but all of my ideas are going to cost a bit of money. So we're waiting to do that. And in the meantime, I'm just using what I've got. So I'm going to be planting these up today with the pansies that I grew. I don't have anything else, so they're just going to be pansies. This one's in bloom. Most of them are not yet, but I'm hoping soon. Ideally, I could put 5 or 6 actually in each of these boxes. And I didn't have quite enough out for that, but I had done this little planter. Let me show you. So I had done this little planter inside many weeks ago now, and I had put some of the pansies around the edge, and these are narcissus, and they haven't bloomed at all. So I'm actually going to steal some from this planter so that I can have 5 in each. So let's get it planted. Simple and sweet. I'm going to love seeing that out my kitchen window. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. It gave you a little inspiration, or was just fun to watch. Hopefully you can see that something simple can still be beautiful. If you can only find pansies, just put some pansies in. And I hope you all are well, and until next time, happy gardening. You're getting a sneak peek of this little crabapple tree here. You'll see more in the full garden and orchard tour I'm going to do for April, so stay tuned for that.